Hi, Ashley here with another horror story for you. The influencer. Amber was a popular social media influencer, with thousands of followers eagerly waiting for her next post. She loved the attention, the likes, and the validation that came with her online presence. But one day, Amber noticed something strange happening on her social media accounts. She was receiving messages from a new follower, who claimed to be a fan of her work and was offering to help her grow her following. At first, Amber was excited by the prospect of even more fame and fortune. But as she started to interact more with this new follower, she began to feel a sense of unease. There was something off about the way they talked, as if they knew more about her than they should. Then, things took a dark turn. Amber started to receive strange messages, with photos and videos of her taken without her knowledge. The follower claimed to be watching her every move, and to have access to all of her personal information. Amber tried to ignore the messages, but they kept coming, growing more and more threatening with each passing day. She felt like she was being watched all the time, like her every move was being monitored by this mysterious stalker. Then, one day, Amber received an invitation to a special event, just for her. The invitation promised her the opportunity of a lifetime, the chance to take her social media fame to the next level. Amber couldn't resist the temptation. She accepted the invitation and arrived at the designated location, only to find herself in a dark, empty room, with no way out. Suddenly, the lights flickered on, revealing a figure standing in the shadows. It was the follower, the one who had been stalking her all this time. They revealed their true identity, and it was someone that Amber had trusted all along. The follower had been someone from her inner circle, someone who had been jealous of her success and had decided to take matters into their own hands. They had been watching her every move, gathering information, and waiting for the right moment to strike. Amber was trapped, with no escape from the twisted game that her stalker had created. She had been blinded by her desire for fame and fortune, and now she was paying the price. As the days went on, Amber's social media accounts were flooded with messages from her followers, all wondering where she had gone. But Amber knew that she would never be the same again, that her life had been forever changed by the dark side of social media. Amber was still trapped in the dark room. Her captor had been toying with her, subjecting her to psychological torture and constantly reminding her of her own vulnerability. Amber had lost all sense of time and hope, resigned to the fact that she may never escape. But one day, she noticed something strange happening on her social media accounts. Her posts were being shared more frequently, and her followers had started a campaign to find her. It was then that Amber realized the true power of her influence. She had built a community of followers who genuinely cared for her, and who were willing to help her in her time of need. Using her knowledge of social media, Amber managed to send a coded message to her followers, asking for their help. Her followers were quick to respond, deciphering the message and launching a campaign to track down her location. Finally, after weeks of captivity, Amber was rescued by her followers. They had tracked down her location and alerted the authorities, who were able to apprehend her captor. But even as Amber returned to her normal life, she couldn't shake off the trauma that she had experienced. She had been reminded of the dark side of social media, and of the dangers that lurked behind the screens. From that day on, Amber became an advocate for online safety, using her platform to educate others about the dangers of social media and how to protect themselves. She knew that she had been lucky to escape, and that not everyone was as fortunate. But even as she tried to move on from her ordeal, Amber couldn't shake off the feeling that she was being watched, that there were still those out there who sought to do her harm. She knew that she would never feel completely safe again, that the cost of her influence was a constant threat to her safety. Amber could not shake off the feeling of unease that came with her newfound fame. She was constantly vigilant, watching her back and checking her social media accounts for any signs of danger. The trauma of her experience had left a deep scar, one that no amount of followers or likes could heal. She had come to realize that the pursuit of social media fame had a dark side, one that many people were blind to. As time went on, Amber's popularity began to fade. Her followers moved on to the next big thing, and she was left with a sense of emptiness. She realized that her pursuit of fame had been shallow, that it had been driven by a desire for validation and attention. In the end, Amber chose to step away from social media altogether. She deleted her accounts and moved to a quiet town in the countryside, where she could live a peaceful life away from the constant scrutiny of her followers. But even as she tried to leave her past behind, Amber could not escape the memories of her captivity. They haunted her dreams, reminding her of the true cost of her influence. And so she lived out her days, a cautionary tale for those who sought to follow in her footsteps. She had learned the hard way that there were more important things in life than likes and followers, that true happiness could not be found in the shallow world of social media. As the years went by, Amber watched from afar as the world of social media continued to evolve, becoming even more powerful and all-consuming. She knew that there would always be those who sought to exploit its dark side, and she hoped that her story would serve as a warning to others. For Amber, the pursuit of fame had come at too high a cost, and she knew that she would never be able to go back to the life she had once known. The horror of her experience had left a permanent mark, one that would never fully heal.